Hello you out there in YouTube land, this is Transato10 and I'm back with another action figure review. Well, it's finally happened. One, I finally have enough time to go out toy hunting, and two, it's just a glorious day because the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles have arrived in my area. I was able to pick two of them up. The first one, of course, being Raphael, and the other one I'll save for another review. Now, for those of you who don't know, I was a huge Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan. When I was growing up, there was two things I was more obsessed with. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Batman. And then of course Power Rangers would change that as well. But Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were my first obsession. I had countless numbers of action figures. I watched the show every weekday afternoon when I would get home from school, every Saturday morning when I would get up. I mean, I literally lived, breathed, ate, and wore Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I had Ninja Turtle slippers, I ate the cereal, the fruit snacks. The only thing of Ninja Turtles I think I didn't have were the bed sheets. So when Nickelodeon bought the franchise and announced that they were going to reboot the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles franchise, I was ecstatic. Because, one, Nickelodeon's in a business to make money, and it seems like whatever they touch, it turns to gold. So who could not like Nickelodeon and what they're doing with the Ninja Turtles? We're not going to go into that whole movie fiasco. I'm not dealing with that. That whole alien thing, you know, that's been put on hiatus. They're redeveloping the picture as we speak. We may not get what we originally saw in that screen treatment. But, like I said, getting back to the Ninja Turtles. This is a wonderful looking card, and that's pretty much all I have to say about it. It's got very nice colors, it's very loud, it pops. Got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles logo as a combination of the original comic logo from Mirage Studios with a little bit of age, and looks kind of faded, almost like it was spray painted on a building. As you can see, kind of like little scrapes here, almost like it was spray painted on a brick wall. Kind of reminiscent of the green on brick design of the original toy line. We have on the bubble little stickers, you know, includes the Ninja Arsenal, and of course we have each of the four Ninja Turtles. Now, I really don't like the animation design per se. Can't really give a full verdict until I've seen the first episode. But I'm really glad that the figures look more or less like their comic counterparts than the animation models. Because the animation models, the way that they're just all blocky, I really think it would have made just a really terrible figure design. So I'm glad Playmates decided to go to their traditional roots with the more or less the realistic comic design. Now, all the cards, from what I can see, they're pretty much all the same. They're not going to have the personalized cards that we got from the '88 toy line, which is kind of sad, but in this economy, you know, cards cost money to print, so they're only going to use one and just use that one for all of them. Till you get to the back. The back, if you can remember, the original 1988 toy line had, and you've seen me do reviews on them, had like their own little bio cards. You know, little clip and connect cards, encouraging kids to, you know, to collect them all, read a little bit about their bios, and see what other turtle figures that you can collect. Here you can collect the four turtles, scratch two of these off, one of course being Raphael, and the other one we'll find out later. April O'Neil, Splinter, Foot Soldier, the Krang, and Shredder. All in all, I really do like this blister packaging. It's direct, to the point, you know exactly what you're getting, and it really does complement the action figure very nicely. It doesn't take too much attention away from the figure, but just enough so that it actually catches your eye on the store shelves. It's very nice packaging. Now, let me open this up and we'll go on with the actual figure review. One thing I must say that after opening the actual blister card, which is very easy with a good old X-Acto knife box cutter, is this ain't coming out. Playmates has once again utilized that wonderful twist tie that we all know and love. Even this little weapons rack thingy even has been attached via these little twist ties. The sides themselves, kind of stuck in the molded plastic, but otherwise it doesn't look too bad. It looks only as if the only thing holding the turtle in is this little twist tie here at the abdomen. So otherwise, I'm not really that upset with the twist ties. Okay, so here we go. Here is Raph, and he is out of his package. He is ready for playtime. Or, you know, display, depending on what kind of collector you are. I like to play with my toys for a little bit, you know, because after all, that's what they are made for. And one thing I gotta say, these are the most posable Ninja Turtle figures that Playmates have ever done. Except for maybe the movie line, but I don't have any of those. I thought they were too tall. I just didn't like the overall look of them. They were really just bad, awful sculpts. What I really love is, first off, you got the ball jointed head. So it gives Raph a little bit of movement. He can look up slightly, down. His movement is a little hindered because of the shell, but really, that's just a minor nitpick. He's got amazing articulation in his hands and his elbows. I mean, he's got ball-jointed elbows, swivel. His elbows can bend in, and then they can swivel around as well. He's got a wrist that, of course, rotates 360. His hips are also on a ball joint, so they can rotate around complete 360, and they also got a hinge so they can bend in and out as well, adding a whole bunch of crazy different poses that you could do with this guy. And because of his center of gravity and his big feet, you could hose him doing some really cool kicks. I mean, that's just a cool pose right there. Look at that. Time to kick some foot. Another thing I love about this is the knee joint. The knee joint actually bends and swivels as well, so you can get him to kick high, reposition his center of gravity so he can stay in this position. And he's quite stable. I mean, you knock into him, he's going to lose his center of gravity, he's going to fall, but I mean, you leave him alone, you just stay him on the shelf, he ain't falling unless the knee joint eventually gives out. The paint job is also very well done. I love the choice of green for Raph. The original Raphael figures, they all had a very basic green, you know, Crayola green. It's more of a dark green, almost like a jade color, which really complements his personality very well. I also love how his wraps have got some nice little battle damage, and I also especially love the choice of white for the eyes, very reminiscent of the comic book look, and the original toy line as well. I mean, this toy line, they don't look exactly like the animation models that we've seen Nickelodeon put out. They look more or less like comic book figures, like the original 88 toy line. And the teeth aren't, well, they're not bright white. And considering that all a turtle does is eat pizza and junk food, they're not going to stay pearly white, are they? No, they're not. They're about the same color as his wraps. One thing I do have to say, I'm kind of a little disappointed in the paint job. It's very basic, but for all this articulation, it's really just easy to overlook. I also love the little turtle texture. It's got all these different scaly-like features all over his legs. And his feet are just so big that, I've already mentioned this before, that he's very flat-footed, he's very stable. All the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles figures, they all had these poses that either had them with their heels slightly off the ground, and it was really difficult to pose those guys. It was really difficult to get them to stand. Not with these guys. These are all flat-footed. Also love the little chunk right here in Raph's shell, right there. That just screams battle damage. This guy just ran straight into battle, didn't see what was coming to him, and probably had a sword slice right through his shell. He also has some very cool accessories as well. His traditional side. They're not painted, but once again, because of the articulation, that is very much, forgiven. And other weapons that come off of these little weapon racks. I see like two half-size shurikens, and I forget what these things are called. They're basically like an axe. They're like a it's like a hook and an axe. Like you can hold this way and hook something, hold it this way and axe something. And given that Raphael's the mean fighter, they chose accessories that really do complement his attitude, his personality. Again, very, very cool accessories. And they're not that much of a pain to remove. And for those of us who grew up with the original 1988 toy line, it's very nice to see Playmates bring something back from the past. New kids just getting into the hobby may not like this. They may think it's a pain, but the parents, they'll remember. And of course, each weapon does fit in Raphael's hand very nicely, very snugly. The hands seem to be made of more of a rubber-like material. Or, nah, it's more of a soft plastic. So it gives way a little bit so that you can slip each weapon in the hand. But it tightly forms around each weapon, so they're not... It's going to be real tough for them to drop it. Which is something that I'm really not liking with the 25th Anniversary Classics line. I just don't like how they have the individually articulated fingers. I think it's just unnecessary and just pretty dumb myself. So, that's Raphael, part of the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles basic toy line for the reboot series, airing sometime on Nickelodeon. And I'm liking what I see so far. This is a wonderful toy line. This is great for all the vintage collectors. Those of us who still have our old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle toys, like Raphael right here in storage shell, would definitely love the new updated looks of these action figures. Three toes notwithstanding. Yeah, I threw a little comparison in there, yeah. So, 88 toy line, new toy line. So, these, you can find them easily at stores like Target, Walmart, and Toys R Us. The cheapest ones I was able to find them right now would be Target, actually. Target, I think I paid close to... It was like $8.50, I think, for these two. There we have it. This is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles toy line. In stores now. Pick them up while you can. I cannot recommend these little figures enough. And this is Translator 10, and I'm signing off.